the last block, I'll
Yeah.
send you a text or something.
Yeah.
How long does it take typically to do a box like that?
If you are like committed and have like at least 6 hours, then you can do the whole thing in
Okay.
6 hours. But if not, if you have like 1 or 2 hours, then you might be able to do like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Because there's 2 pictures for each butterfly. It's dorsal and ventral. So
Okay.
I'm gonna show you first a few things before opening the program and everything else. So there's these 2 here. These 2 folders are super important because here's where we keep our images. Okay, so I put names of everyone that's been taking pictures, and I can add yours here.
Okay.
So, how would you like it?
It's a RHYS.
Riz?
Yep.
RHYS. Okay.
Perfect.
So here's where you're gonna add all your pictures.
Okay.
Okay. So once they're here and once you have all the information and all the database entered, then you put them in here. UNR, and this is UNR, and means entomology, gen is general collection.
Gotcha.
So we put them in here depending on the number.
Okay.
Right now we're in 2200. I don't know why there's this view here. So
How do you know you're in that number? What's that number represent?
2100. That's the last one. That's the collection number.
So that'll be
I
assigned
mean
post?
that's the picture number.
Okay.
So there's 2, for instance. In this case, there's 2100 dorsal and 2100 ventral.
Okay.
So I guess those were the last ones. Am I correct? Those were the last ones that are in this folder. Okay, but there must be some others that were taken by other people that are not yet here because they need to be clean or do something. So this is how they look like, for instance.
Wow.
And you have all the information here in the labels.
Okay.
Right, so that information is the one that needs to be in the database.
Okay.
Okay, so we're always gonna add a ruler. We're gonna have the butterfly, the most you need the whole space, like the most space that you can get of the butterfly.
Okay.
The label is always gonna be here, and then we're gonna add that number here. That's the unique number
Okay.
for that butterfly. It's gonna be also the unique number for the collection upstairs. So it's gonna be, that one's gonna be 2100.
So were you saying that that's the last number recorded, or you were saying that other people may have taken pictures but they just haven't numbered them?
Yeah, well, they're all numbered right now. We have to check the database though. So where's Clark? So here, for instance, you see there's more here, 2120. So there's more that have been already been taken. Like these are the Parnassus here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can do this. You can put the label here, or you can put it down here, and then these ones should be down here. Okay.
So basically check the database to
Mhm.
verify the very last number. The database
So
will
just
have
kinda-
the...
Yeah, the database will have the
Got
last
it.
number. So here's 2120. Let's see.
So
So
can I click through all the folders?
yeah, so this is LepNet images. Remember here.
Right.
That's and then there's this one called LepNet docs, where you open, then you go here to Google Drive, backup. I guess I'm gonna make another because that's like, too much going on. But the thing is that this is the database, UNR Museum Lab Specimen Database. That's
Okay.
the main database that we open and see where we are at. So it takes time because it's kind of slow, the thing. And we have a lot of pictures and we have to erase those actually. Which is yes here. Right, so this database has all the information that any database should have, and we're 2120, right? So it corresponds to the same ones we have here, 2120. All right, so we could move actually all of these to the general collection. All right, we just need to find these 3 here that I don't know where they are. Yeah, but that's okay, I will do that. So I can take these into the general collection that were completed until 2200. And not here. And you see they take a lot of space, that's why the computer is so slow.
Yeah.
And The thing is that I can do that. I can move the specimens from one to the other. But the
Okay.
thing is that this is really important. Once you add all the information, you add the new number, and then they must have an identification. If they don't, you can leave these open.
Okay.
Okay, and
And then yeah.
you
just
add
fill
all
in
the
ones
information
that-
that was in the label. Like
Okay.
this is the location. They have altitude in feet, and latitude and longitude we don't have because those are from the 70s. But I'm actually asking you or anyone that's helping us to go into the what is this called, Google Earth, and
Okay,
try to
yeah.
find the most nearby place to these
Okay.
Park Street Trailhead, for
Yeah.
instance. So they're all going to be around there. It's not going to be precisely the same latitude and longitude, but it's going to be
Close.
super close.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in that way we add this, and that's super important.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, and then these others are always going to be in the label. So
Okay,
the
perfect.
county, that's going to be the state, the date who collected, and the collector who collected those, and all of this information. Well, that's a taxonomic information. All of them are going to be Lepidoptera, and these are going to be Papilionoidea, and the genus is going to be Parnassus, because you
Okay.
already know the species. So the species is conformed by two parts, like the genus and then the species. Parnassus claudius form the whole scientific name. Okay?
Nice.
So that's-
these are all those also.
Mhm.
Like these guys are the.
Yeah, Parnassus claudius are
Parnassus
these.
claudius. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
you'll find them here. Or maybe they will have like labels inside,
Okay.
and then you can add that information
Perfect.
if you want.
Yeah.
So how will he
Double
know
check.
where to start in that box?
So-
Has that already been started? Or?
Yeah, this one has already been started. So one thing that you have to check for is the we have labels of the numbers, the UNR
Okay.
numbers. So for instance here, as you can see in this case, we have these ones that have two labels on them, right? And then the label in this one's is gonna have a number. So that's
Okay. So that one's
2108, so we should find 2120, I guess. So you see they all have two labels. Sometimes they move like this, but I'm gonna fix that.
So the ones without two labels should be.
That's right.
Okay.
So
and then
if
once
you're
I
here,
do those,
if
I
there's
should print
only
out.
one, like for instance, this is one without the other label.
Okay,
So this is the
so
one that
seven.
you should start with.
Okay.
All right. And another thing that I wanted to tell you is that we are also not only taking pictures of them, but we're fixing the collection. So you see that all like these butterflies are facing this way, and some are facing up. So that shouldn't be like that.
Okay.
So we're
Fix that.
trying to put them like this in these positions. As you can see them here, we have been organizing them in a better position. So they all should
Yeah.
be facing this way
vertically
up.
in the unit tray.
Mhm, that's
Okay.
right. So in this case, for instance, once you're taking the picture and then you put it back, then you're just gonna arrange them. Like in this
Okay.
case, we can arrange them like that.
Perfect.
So you put them on a side. Try to make sure that it doesn't touch one of these
Okay.
edges, and the lower part doesn't touch. Like the label doesn't touch the wings also. So
Gotcha.
Are there bigger unit trays than this for these bigger
yeah,
types
there's
of
there's
specimens?
but the thing is that it's gonna be take too much space.
Mm,
And then we're gonna need more of these. So,
Yeah.
so this is way better.
Perfect.
We have something like this. Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time and maybe skill to move them, and then you pin them all the way through until the end.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, if you just pin them like a little bit,
Yeah, that's
it's gonna be shaky and they can move and fall, and we don't
Definitely.
want that.
Yeah, once you put the lid on.
Okay.
It's gonna
So try to always make sure that you're
Get a
secure with
good-
your
yeah.
hands. Put your like one side of your hand here so that you can have more.
be- Okay.
How do you say maneuverability?
Maneuverability?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, oh, that's cool.
Perfect.
That
Yeah.
was a Spanish word, and I changed it to English.
There we go.
So yeah,
Perfect.
that's how we do it. All right. So right
Sounds
now,
good.
as there was a flooding here, so what we did is we lost the labels with the numbers.
Mm,
So in this case, I'm just gonna show you how to take the pictures.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to make sure that this is always connected, because this is the part that is connected to the computer.
Okay.
Right there, we should have an adapter here so that it. Okay, we should take these one out. So remember, here you have your space there, and
Gotcha.
the first thing that you do is you put it in here so that you don't have to do it like inside
Oh yeah, that
looking at
makes
the
it so much
camera.
more difficult.
Yeah, so it's gonna be super difficult. So you kind of look from above so that you know the dimensions.
Yeah, get the
Right.
label as close as you can. But
Yeah,
not
so
too close.
that's right. The label should be up here, closest to the wing, so that
Okay.
you have some space here to put the number. Remember,
Right.
right? Once you have it, right, then we put it in, and it has to be.
Where's the ruler?
Oh, the ruler. Crap. I don't know where they put everything.
Got washed away in the flood.
Out of it.
This is nice. Okay, we found one.
Not perfect.
Yeah, we can put it in the middle. So the less space we have, in this case, it's going to be better because we can have more of the butterfly in a picture. So
Gotcha.
we could add some other stuff, like for instance, different colors and stuff, like a palette color, so that we know afterwards if those colors actually are real. But in this case, as it has a neutral background, so it's way better.
Okay.
So right now it goes like this, because remember the camera is facing
Gotcha.
up. Alright, so as you can see, you cannot see well here. So let's see. Let's see. So there's, first thing you do is press autofocus and
Okay.
click on top. So it's gonna try to do that by itself. Yeah. So then we're gonna try to put it in the correct position. So as you can see, we need more space. And that means that the camera needs to go up a little bit.
Okay.
Like, we move it up like this.
That's nice.
And what you do is you add autofocus again, click it here. Alright.
Alright.
So you see super bright.
Mhm.
We're gonna change that.
Change the.
So you see that the label is kind of
Crooked.
Yeah, off center. Very nice.
cool. So you have to move everything here.
Okay.
So we're in ISO 200. Where you have to move it to 100. Why can I go to 100? Oh, maybe because of the camera. Okay. So and then we have to. So the best way to take macro photography, and the aperture should be between 7 or 6.3 and 10.
Okay.
So the higher you go, you're gonna have more more deepness in the field.
Okay.
But the thing is that it's not gonna be as sharp as you want. So but that means that it's gonna be super bright. So that's why we have to change the speed. And the more time you have the
Exposure?
the eye open, the more light goes in and the better it looks. But in this case, we have to find the balance. So it wasn't 110, so we have to be 135. So 115 maybe. So that works really well. It looks like balanced. It's not like burned or anything like that.
Right.
So once you have that,
Okay.
then we can actually get this started. It's a shame that I had like so many, everything was here. I had all the protocols for each butterfly, because depending on the color, you are gonna have to change this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is fine large GPEG, and that's it. So we already have this, and then we just click on focus, and then you will see that
Oh, wow.
a blue light comes. That means that these are all the parts of the butterfly that are in focus.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna do an exposure bracketing, and we're gonna take three pictures, and that's gonna be awesome because it's gonna take three different pictures in different different brightness.
Okay. Now you
So
can
one is gonna be
just
kind
pick
of
whatever one is
yeah,
nicest.
one is gonna be super bright, the other one's gonna be like middle, the other one's gonna be kind of dark,
Oh, that's great.
and it makes like the background have like a unique background, like very nice, stable, and like it makes like a what is it called? My English is going away.
Is it like
Sorry.
no shadows or anything?
No, it's like the mean. Another word for mean.
Average?
Average. It makes an average proportion of the color in the background.
Okay.
So it's really
Oh,
cool.
great.
So we're gonna go and this is a software that actually allows you to take many pictures and stack them all together into one. So that's really cool, and that's why we're gonna take many pictures. You see that this is not in focus,
Yeah,
so we're
I
gonna
was gonna ask.
making that.
Oh,
So we're gonna
I
go.
see what you mean. That's really
We're
cool.
gonna go from above all the way to the lowest part. So above is gonna be A. Okay, that's why we have A and B. And these arrows here are the ones that they're gonna follow. So if you add these three arrows, it's gonna go way above. Like that's too much.
Right.
You see?
Just need
Way,
to
way
get the
too
top
much.
of the pinpoint. Okay.
Yeah, it's even further.
Yeah.
Up. So we don't want that. Okay. We were right in the middle, but we need to be a little bit up, depending on how it is, what kind of structures are above. So if you can see here, the antenna are above the wings.
Yeah.
So we
I
need
saw
to
that
have
light
them
up on
focus.
a tiny bit right before.
That's right. So we add like one by one. In this case, it's really cool because butterflies are flat, and then we don't need to take like too many pictures. So you go up, and then in this case, we have the antenna really well.
Okay.
in
So start at
focus.
the topmost point of
Yeah.
the insect and then.
That's right.
Okay.
So if you go a little bit more, it's gonna be now too blurry, then we don't need that.
Right.
So that's gonna be cool. All right, that's the highest point above. So we lock it. That
Okay.
means that this is the highest point. And we're gonna go all the way down until the label and the ruler are in focus. Okay. Oh, and the interval, the interval is gonna be 1. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why in a little bit. So you see we're going down and we're going down, down. Maybe
Oh,
one
yeah.
more. Yeah.
Super nice.
And we lock it. Why interval 1? We can add as many intervals as we want. But
Okay.
the thing is that here, if we add 2 intervals, for instance, it's gonna go, instead of going 1, it's gonna go down 2, and then it's gonna take pictures. And 1 and 2, another picture. 1 and 2, another picture. But we don't want that because if we skip like the part that has more focus on the butterfly, then we
Right,
miss
it's gonna
that,
be-
and it's not gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So in this case, we need 1 because we need more pictures for every depth.
So you'll have 12 shots according to
In
that?
this case, we have 12 shots
Okay.
times 3 because
Okay.
we're taking three shots for the exposure
At
bracketing.
each.
So we
Oh, at
have
each
here,
exposure.
this
Okay.
is the stacking. So we have that. Once we have everything locked, then we start taking pictures. We start shooting.
And where do you push up there?
Because there's one that says take picture, but it only takes 1 picture.
Oh, okay, yeah. we
If you
know.
wanna, you just wanna like check how everything is and how it's gonna be the
Okay.
final picture, then you just take 1.
Gotcha.
But if you wanna take the whole thing, the whole package, then you just click here.
Perfect.
So it goes all the way up and starts shooting from there all the way to the bottom. Oh no. Well, as that's a new camera, then I should change that.
Like the orientation?
Yeah. Sometimes cameras they do have like a sensor in which they actually change the position
the
of the
orientation.
picture, the orientation. Yes.
Does that matter for the output or just
Yeah.
for you? It does matter?
It matters because when I try to add a text,
Mm-hmm.
the text always gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
We need
okay.
to add a text here like this.
Okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a problem. But the thing is that I could save that picture.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I will have to add all the label text in Photoshop,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes a while.
So through Helicon, you can add a label,
I can only.
and you can't like rotate the label so that it's.
I guess so. Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's find out. And the pictures are uploaded here. You open Helicon Focus first. then this screen pops out, and there's all the pictures that we have. So there are some pictures that are horizontal, so we have to change the settings in the camera. Once we change that, then all of them will look like not in this position but like this.
Yeah.
So if there are something like this, that you just unselect because you don't want to have another picture horizontal and the other vertical, so it's going to be a mess.
Stack it quickly.
So once you have all of them, you add method C, because that takes all the pixels that are in focus, and that's way better. These will do some different analysis, but I like method C better. Once that's done, you click on render, and it will get all the pixels that are in focus into one really good picture.
Cool.
After this, we go here.
So is that the final picture there?
That's the final
Yeah,
picture.
Okay.
That's
before
one
and
of
after,
them.
it's really cool.
One of them, for instance,
So
if I
crisp.
touch here, then you will see that picture in here. But that actually is the final one.
Wow.
That it's,
Yeah.
well in focus. So after this, we go to text scale. You can actually zoom in here and see.
Wow.
You can see a pictures. It's really cool because you can
Those
see
are
all the
pollen.
scales.
Or is that those are scales?
Yeah, scales and pollen also. There's these little dots. Could be pollen. Yeah.
Is
but-
that, can you zoom in all the way? Like as far as it goes? Is that like what is good focus for
This.
this purpose? Okay.
Yeah, because in this case you can see in order to identify some specimens, the best way to do that is to identify where the veins are and how they run through the wing. So that's really cool, and then you can see here really clearly. And also you can see like patterns of different things. Like for instance, you can see here that this is like an old specimen because there's some
Missing
places where
scales.
there's no scales. Yeah. Well, some of these Parnassus some are like this. So in this case, there's something wrong with the label. It might be because of that movement of the camera, and yeah, maybe some things in the wing, but it looks really cool actually. Yeah, just for this purpose. So if you want to add some text, you just click here, and this is the last one, for instance. So we add 21, and this is a dorsal picture.
Gotcha.
So this is where it's gonna be. So you see, we cannot move it all the way around. So we should have moved it. I would love to move it like on the other side, but I can't. So that's why I don't like it.
So typically it would be like rotated and
Yeah.
then here.
And then
Okay.
here.
Do you feel comfortable
then-
with dorsal ventral
Yeah.
designations? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that you just save. You just come here and save it.
Perfect. And then just move it to my folder. Gotcha.
You just
Nice.
save it here, and then you could add it. It's gonna pop up, and then these are Clark's images. So you just go back here, and then you just add yours, race, and then yeah, you could. What we do in order for us to have the sequential number is we add the final one. Just click here.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's easy.
Yeah,
And then just replace.
that's why you just place here the number and B. You just save quality 100%. That's okay.
Nice.
And then you just close it.
Okay.
Okay, then if you want to, you can change. You can check that.
And
With
then when I
images.
come in next to do it, the orientation will be like permanently sideways, so I won't have to.
So it should be like
yeah,
this.
Right. Okay.
That's the way it's supposed to be. But we have changed those.
Yeah. So before you